Yep.
Welcome back, everybody. Merry Christmas, and this is Man Bites Film. My name is Lewis,
I'm Brandon.
and of course, we're gonna continue our journey on the saga of Star Wars, and this time the best part of Star Wars, in my opinion.
Yep.
We're gonna start with A New Hope, Episode 4.
Yeah. Which on IMDb has an 8.7, which is much higher than any of the prequels.
Yeah, even that's kind of, I don't agree with 100%. But what's your take on this one? What was your first impression when you first saw this film?
I like it. I like it a lot. I don't think it compares to, and not in a bad way. I don't think it's as good as Empire or Return, but I do think it is a very good film. I'm a sucker for the whole a kid who's a nobody gets thrown into this giant struggle that he does not want to be a part of, and his fun adventures with his new friends and stuff. I really enjoy A New Hope. I know off camera you told me that you are not a fan of it, right?
I'm really not New Hope, in the sense that I knew the first time I saw it that it was a ripoff.
Yeah.
Because I had been told this, and I was like, oh, really? What the hell? And going in with that impression, obviously it taints the image of the film. But overall, to be honest, 100% honest, this is a very entertaining film.
Yeah.
I'm a little more critical about it because of what deception went on behind the scenes. But again, that doesn't take away from the fact that this is a very, very entertaining film. I enjoyed the beautiful cinematography, the editing. The editing was really fantastic, and the fact that they used those sweep cuts was the first time it wasn't used in a very, very cheesy manner. I believe the only time they ever really used those type of cuts were like for like cheesy horror movies in the 50s and all that stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, that's what he was going for originally. He was going for kind of like what Tarantino does now, a vignette of what do you call it, previous films.
It's funny. I know we're not talking about the prequels, but I don't mind the sweeps and the cuts that are in the original trilogy, but I think like in the prequels it's so overdone.
Yes, it is. It's a lot more overdone.
Yeah.
Than in the older films.
Yeah.
The older films, it's done more elegantly, and of course, it's the editor that did this. You have a classic editor. It's somebody that's not a piece of shit. I believe, Brendan, you have the IMDb page pulled up.
Yes, I do.
Who was the editor on that?
Oh shit! You're putting me on the spot right now.
Yes, I am. Of course I am. Come on.
No,
I'm always gonna put you on the spot. You're my techie guy.
Okay, wait. Technical specs? No. Shit. I don't know where this is.
Well, I'm gonna go on a little bit more about my aspect of what I liked about the film. I really loved the characters. The characters were fantastic characters. They were. You actually connected with the emotional side of these characters. You actually gave a shit about the character. And ironically, the only one that I didn't care about was Luke, which is a very odd thing because, to be honest with you, I never really put two and two together. But I seen the prequels, and Anakin and Luke Skywalker act pretty much the same. They're not good actors in any way or form, and they have
I
really.
think Mark Hamill is a much better actor than Hayden Christensen is.
That's debatable. Nah, I don't like his. It's just kind of that farm boy aspect and everything. It was just cheesy. It reminded me of THX 1138 and what do you call it? What was that other movie that he did?
American Graffiti.
Yeah, American Graffiti. I hated those movies. All right,
I like American Graffiti.
The only thing good that came from American Graffiti was the fact that Happy Days came right after it.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that was good about that movie. That movie was cheesy to the extreme. I mean, they took the whole story of greasers and they just made it ridiculously cheesy as fuck.
So, not to interrupt you, but I did find the editors.
Oh, who was it?
It's 5 people.
Oh.
And it's George Lucas, Marsha Lucas, which is I'm assuming is his wife.
Yeah.
Paul Hirsch, Richard Chu, and T.M. Christopher.
T.M. Christopher. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, a lot of this film goes back to the editor. I believe that the editor was one of the most important part, and obviously the what do you call it? The music.
Yes.
The music makes this film. If it wasn't for the music, this would be the cheesiest shit ever. Have you ever seen this movie without the music?
Is that even possible?
Well, you just put it on mute.
No, I have not. I that's not something that I want to do.
For an obvious reason.
Yeah.
I mean,
who doesn't want to
sound
listen
effects,
to John Williams' score?
Exactly.
Like,
but if you take out the music in the scenes, the film does not work. It falls completely dead.
Oh no, I wouldn't doubt it.
So technically, I don't appreciate George Lucas for the film. I appreciate the group that he brought together in this.
Yeah.
And his directing was horrible. I don't think that his directing had anything to do with how brilliant this film is. This film came together because of the crew that the producers brought together, and the acting it's horrendous. The only good actors that came out of this film are the good parts in this film. And you know that they're good actors. So it's like saying, oh, we're going to put Nicolas Cage in like a dark comedy.
You had to pick Nicolas Cage.
I like Nicolas Cage in dark comedies. Nothing else. Everything else that he does is horrendous. But him in dark comedies is fucking brilliant. You've seen Bad Lieutenant?
Yeah.
That is a freaking amazing movie with him.
Let me ask you something. Okay, I think for anyone who's viewing and does not know, Lucas, A New Hope is the only one of the originals that Lucas directed.
Yes.
And he also directed all 3 of the prequels.
Yes.
And to me, I feel like Star Wars, let's just call it Star Wars because that's what it was originally known as.
Yeah.
It's much better directed than the prequels are, and I wonder why, because it's directed by him.
Yes and no. From what I heard, a lot of things changed from what he had originally intended, and he had a lot of his friends on set.
Okay.
Spielberg was on set. Mm-hmm. There was a bunch of people that were on set. That whole intro, the intro that we did to this show, this episode, and the previous episode, was not his idea. This was a random person that came up to him and told him, you should do an intro that's a little bit more interesting. Because his intro was completely different when the screener came out.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't know this, when he showed it off, like pre-screenings to like critics and stuff, people thought that it was going to bomb, and the only one that actually stood by him was Spielberg.
Oh, yeah.
Spielberg was like...
Spielberg and him were freaking jerk-off buddies, man.
Yeah.
They were like ridiculously close.
Yeah, but I felt like maybe everyone was like, oh, this is crap, this is cheesy. But even though they were friends, I felt like even Spielberg was like, there's something here, you get me? Like,
well, Spielberg, the thing is that, and this is no fault to Spielberg because I love Spielberg's films and I think he is one of the greatest directors of all time, period. But the fact is, Spielberg doesn't give a shit about ripping off other films. Mm-hmm. And perfect point in case, AI. That was a completely blatant ripoff of Stanley Kubrick. And from what I've heard, Kubrick did not authorize that. He did not want anybody else directing that film. So I've heard conflicting sides with that and all that shit. Whatever. The case is, George Lucas completely ripped off the whole fucking film. Special effects from 2001. The one of the robots from Metropolis. The whole story of the first film was a ripoff of Akira Kurosawa in a previous episode that we mentioned. Hidden Fortress was a complete ripoff of Hidden Fortress. Complete ripoff. The fact that he followed the androids and the robots was one of the biggest points of the first film.
Yeah. And
that's because of Kurosawa, not because of his storytelling. So the reason why it was such a good film was because of all the combination of all these different things, the great staff that he brought together. He had the support of great directors. Spielberg is a freaking fantastic director. That guy could make gold out of anything. And I think that's the reason it actually was successful. It's a fantastic story.
It really is. I feel like I can look past him taking and ripping, basically ripping it off of someone else. But I feel it's such a fun story. It's so, it's the very classic tale of good versus evil, the rebellion versus the Empire, and the characters are so memorable. Han Solo, Chewbacca, Luke,
very much is.
Leia, C-3PO, R2-D2. They're all, Darth Vader, for Christ's sake. They're all super memorable characters.
Yeah.
Like, Vader, dude, you could go up to someone that doesn't know about Star Wars and you could ask them, do you know who Darth Vader is? And they'll probably say yes. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's become one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic sci-fi film ever made because of this culmination of things that brought the film together and brought it in such a way that it is fantastic. Yeah. And also the fact that he didn't have CGI. Thank God for that, because I would not have enjoyed this film as much.
And it's funny, the effects for 77 are actually very well. They're well done.
I'm not even going into that. That's besides the point. Completely besides the point, because I'm going to go on a 30-minute rant of just that.
And the music, of course,
for
like
another
we mentioned,
time.
John Williams' score pieces everything together.
John Williams is fucking fantastic.
Yes.
And this was, I think, his first film, too.
Was it?
I think so. If it wasn't like his first film, it was one of his first few films.
Jesus.
Like his first couple films.
Wow. But
yeah.
All right. So let's get on with the show. What would you rate A New Hope?
I'd rate it a 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd rate A New Hope probably an 8.
Okay.
Definitely.
Right.
I think it's mandatory watching if you want to get the whole Star Wars saga.
Yeah. You could start watching Star Wars from this point, and you will be happy to ignore the rest.
Definitely.
Because, let's go on to the second one of the original, which is going to be episode 5. Yep. Right. Again with the 5.
Yeah. The Empire Strikes Back, which on IMDb has an 8.8, which is a 0.1% higher than A New Hope.
Okay, this one I want to go into a little bit of what do you call it, synopsis of it, because so much happens in it, and I think that giving a synopsis of it is the best way to do it.
Do you want me to do that, or do you want to do it?
You start off with it.
Okay.
Start off with Hoth.
Alright, so the movie starts off a couple years after. No one knows this if you don't read the books, but whatever. It starts 3 years after A New Hope. The rebellion is on a high. They've destroyed the Death Star. They've had a major victory against the Empire. And they're stationed on this ice planet called Hoth. The whole rebellion is just chilling there on the planet, and then the Empire finds out that they're there and comes and like fucking slams down with an iron fist and wrecks them.
Iconic battles ever made. Yeah. Oh my god. Like
wrecks them. Like there's that iconic scene where the rebel fighter is looking through the binoculars and he just sees the foot of the AT-AT come down. And
that scene is so beautifully shot.
Yeah. Before I continue on with the synopsis, this is the best Star Wars film.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely the best Star Wars film. Hands down.
Yes.
So after this, Luke leaves. He goes to find a Jedi Master by the name of Yoda, and starts getting some training. Blah blah blah. And then Han, Jesus Christ, Han, Leia, and Chewie, R2-D2, and C-3PO go to Bespin, which is one of the coolest places ever.
Yes, it is. Cloud City. Oh my god. That is freaking phenomenal. With another phenomenal actor as well. That he never did anything really big after this. I think he kind of he's Star Wars. That's it.
Nope. And which is Billy D. Williams, the guy that plays Lando Calrissian. And they get there and they think it's all fine and dandy. Han knows Lando, and it turns out that Lando, right before they arrived, the Empire had arrived. And he basically sells them out to the Empire.
This is actually a really cool moment to throw this little tidbit.
Yeah.
While they're actually filming that scene, the reason that they actually put C-3PO down for that whole sequence, and the fact that he didn't have legs through the whole sequence in Cloud City, was actually because the clanking on the set that they were on actually made such a loud sound that they couldn't use the audio recording for it.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, they chopped them up and they did that little quick tidbit.
Yeah.
That's why if you watch it, the whole part leading up to it, they're like, oh, where's C-3PO? And they really don't give a shit about it.
Yeah, and then when Chewie actually finds him, he's all like separated in parts and he's carrying him around. But yeah so Lando has sold him out to the Empire, and basically they freeze Han in carbonite, which is like this like metal slab.
It's really cool.
And one of the most iconic Star Wars characters takes him away, which is Boba Fett, the bounty hunter. And Luke arrives on Bespin, and one of the most he starts fighting Vader, and probably the most iconic scene in film history happens.
That there's like a million memes of.
Yeah, where Luke finds out that Vader is his father, and gets his hand cut off, and basically tucks his tail between his legs and runs. And that's why I love Empire, is because you come from this high of the rebellion beating the Empire at the end of A New Hope, and then they just get their ass handed to them.
But Empire. I love how what do you call it? Like the whole, you see that scene while Vader is fighting Luke.
Yeah.
It could have been the cheesiest thing in the world when he did that reveal, and the music.
Yeah.
That build up in the music, it was a very low build up, and they barely had any music in that scene. So perfectly done. And it was, his acting is horrible in this. If you look at Luke's face, it looks cheesy as hell. And if it wasn't for like the cuts, the way they did it, and the way they cut it quickly from his face, so you really didn't see it as much, you see his face and he acts really bad.
Yeah,
he is a really bad actor.
I don't think he's as bad as you think he is, but
dude, he is like Keanu Reeves bad. Okay,
he's a good. One thing, Mark Hamill is pretty good. He's a good voice actor. I'll give him that.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with this.
I know, but it's a random tidbit. But
anybody could be a voice actor, you know. Anybody could sit there and do a good.
Not really. I'm not gonna get into that. But that's a lot.
If they're an actor.
Yeah.
If they're an actor, then yeah. I mean, that's your bread and butter. Doing the faces, that's what elevates you to a movie star.
Yeah,
and he's nowhere near that.
Yeah, I that's the reason I love Empire, is because of the whole, the bad guys lose. It ends on such a downer. Like the rebellion is basically split up. They don't know what the hell's going on. They've been beaten badly. Han is taken prisoner by Boba Fett to Jabba the Hutt,
which is so cool. Like that, I love that freaking spaceship that he flies in, the Slave One.
The Slave One is incredible.
That is so freaking cool.
And
the way they did that scene too, that is just beautifully shot on Cloud City. I love that.
And it's the movie introduces a lot of memorable characters like Lando, Yoda. Boba Fett has a more prominent role in this one than I'm not even sure if he comes out in episode 4. I think he does. I think he shows up like once. Maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think he does at all. He comes out for the first time on Vader's ship.
Yeah, on the Executor. With all the other bounty hunters.
With all the other bounty hunters there, ICD, whatever or something.
IG-88, Boss, Dengar, all those fucking people.
Oh, dude, that is so cool. That scene is awesome. Seeing all those bounty hunters. I wish they would do a show with the bounty hunters alone. That would be freaking awesome.
It's so memorable, like the set pieces like we talked about. Hoth.
Oh, yeah.
Bespin. Yoda's planet, where he's on Dagobah. Yeah. And that's actually one of my favorite scenes, where he actually, when Luke lands on Dagobah and meets, he doesn't know what Yoda looks like, so he shows up on Dagobah, and this little green dude who's very small, walks with like a walking stick, a cane, comes up to him, and he sounds crazy. He sounds senile.
Yeah. And it's a very like British humor moment.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I love the scene where R2, like, he takes the food and R2 zaps him, and he starts smacking R2 with his cane.
Yes.
And then
that is a great scene.
Luke is like, I'm looking for a Jedi Master by the name of Yoda, and like he just completely switches personalities, and he goes from being a senile little old man to like I haven't heard that name in a very long time.
Yeah.
And
very solemn, very like masterful. I loved it.
And Frank Oz does an incredible job as Yoda.
Yes. Of course, Frank Oz, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's an all-star ensemble, and of course, you're gonna get great performances from great actors, dude. This, I mean, this takes it to a whole other level of performances.
Yeah.
Also, Dagobah was actually, this is another tidbit that I found. The set of Dagobah was actually used in Labyrinth for that scene with the weird animal things.
Really?
Yeah, that's actually the same set. Yeah.
And random tidbit, you know how Alec Guinness is the man who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes. He shows up in Empire Strikes Back as a Force ghost. They actually filmed his scenes in 6 hours. That's how little he was in the film. But yeah, Empire is... A New Hope is a good film. Empire is leaps and bounds above this film.
Oh, yes.
Leaps and bounds. It is much
better. This
better.
is definitely on my top 50 of all time films. This is definitely worth a watch, and it is the most entertaining Star Wars film, period.
Yeah.
From the moment of the badass battle sequence of Hoth with those huge Imperial walkers and the snow speeders and all that stuff, and then the set pieces of the spaceships. Oh my god, it is just it's epic.
When they introduce
that is an epic.
When they introduce Vader's flagship, which is
the
not a Star Destroyer but a Super Star Destroyer, it is a massive ship. Massive.
Yes, it is.
And it like overshadows like 10 Star Destroyers at the same time. His ship is so badass.
Yes, it is.
It's just a cool film. You get not your first lightsaber duel, but a more well choreographed and better lightsaber duel than you got in A New Hope with Luke and Vader. Honestly, I can't even speak more highly of the film. It's so much better than A New Hope. And
I agree 100%. I think my personal favorites of it, obviously the Hoth battle. I really like the what do you call it, Cloud City sets.
Oh my god,
freaking fantastic, and the sarcasm that goes on with the characters in that city, and how completely different they are from the rest of the characters. I love how they establish that. A lot of these sci-fi films, they really don't diversify with the races and the different planets, and this one really does.
Yeah.
At this point in the series.
So what would you rate Empire Strikes Back?
This is very, very rare that I will give this, but I'll give it a 9.8.
Damn, you're actually giving it higher than I am. I thought I was high. I'm gonna give it a 9.5, a 9.5. Excellent. It's a very excellent sci-fi film, and of course,
I think the only beef that I have is some of the scenes. Yeah, the acting scenes with Luke. Yeah. But even that, I mean, they cut away from him so quick that you really don't even realize it.
Other memorable scenes like Luke, you are my father is the scene. I know it's not as memorable, but to me, every time I hear it, I love it. Is when Leia says "I love you" to Han, and he just says "I know."
Yeah.
That
I
scene
love
is
that,
awesome.
Dude. Yeah.
So good. So yeah, definitely watch this movie if you never have, and it is probably the one that you should mostly watch out of the Star Wars saga. Of course, watch 4 before, but
and this is something you definitely have to watch with a surround sound system.
Yes.
On a TV without interruptions. This is one of those that you watch with the surround sound system and you will be blown away.
Yeah.
Because the sound editing on this is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
This is one of the best sounding films I've ever seen. Okay, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to
the final one.
The last one of these classic films.
Yep. The
Return of the Jedi, Episode 6.
Yeah. On IMDb, it has an 8.4, which is actually lower than A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
I know exactly the reason why.
I actually think this is the second best in the original trilogy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It is a very, very good film also. It ties everything together. It is ending.
an extremely good film.
Yeah. It
Up to a certain point.
okay. Wait. Okay. So, before you get into that, so this ties everything together. You get the ending to Anakin's story, which is Vader, and basically, the rebellion wins. Basically, it is the end of the war between the rebellion and the Empire, and it has very memorable scenes like the battle over the Sarlacc pit when they're trying to save Luke, where Carrie Fisher, Leia's in the slave
kill
bikini.
Boba Fett.
Where every guy in the 80s
really...
had a wet dream over her.
Oh god, every fat kid, yeah.
She was attractive in the slave bikini. Come on, man.
She looks like a little girl. Come on.
Eh.
She has no body. She has no body. Come on. She has freaking like cupcake titties. Like that.
And this movie also introduces another iconic character, the Emperor, which is played by Ian McDiarmid, which he does a phenomenal job as the Emperor. He's very creepy.
All right. What did you hate about this film?
Oh shit! You're putting me on the spot.
Oh, come on. It's a very easy thing to know exactly what you hate about this film. It's very easy.
The unmasking of Vader?
Yes, that's definitely one of them. I agree with that.
I don't know, honestly. I like the Ewoks. They're cute. I like Endor.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god. First election and now you tell me that you like the Ewoks. What the fuck, man?
I like Ewoks, man. They're cute, bro. What's your problem? You don't like Endor? And I like Admiral Akbar, bro. It's a trap.
Oh, yeah. That's classic. that goes without saying. Yeah, that's a fucking classic. But the fucking Ewoks, man. What the fuck? How do you like the Ewoks, dude? How do you like the Ewoks?
I don't know. I think they're cute. They help them.
They look like little fucking bears, man. What are they doing in that film? Come on.
They help them out, man.
By what? How the hell? That is the thing that makes no fucking sense. These are the Jar Jar Binks of the classics, in my opinion. Like, seriously?
Chill, bro.
These are so fucking bad. What the fuck? How do they kill the stormtroopers with fucking rocks when the stormtroopers have armor? How the hell do they penetrate the armor with basically nothing?
You're gonna kill someone even with armor on.
Dude, take a rock to the head with a freaking bicycle helmet. You're gonna feel a bump, but you ain't gonna get knocked out with that.
I don't know, man. Maybe that was a small pebble when it hit you. Maybe there's a giant rock.
I don't know, man. That's total bullshit. And those characters, the little fuzzy things throwing huge giant rocks that I could barely carry, that's bullshit. Come on. Come on. That whole sequence is just shit. The whole film is beautiful. And this would have gotten up there with Empire if it wasn't for the fucking Ewoks and the reveal of Darth Vader.
I actually visited where they filmed Endor.
Yeah, where was it?
It's actually in Golden State Park in San Francisco. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they shot it where all the like redwood forests and all that shit, the giant fucking trees. Yeah.
Okay, so what's I think the most impressive part of this film, hands down, is the fucking spaceship battle.
Yes.
That goes on right outside of the Death Star.
Yeah, the second
Holy
Death Star.
shit, that whole sequence, that I put this on the level of fucking Minas Tirith with Lord of the Rings battle sequences because it is so awesome. The lead up to it. The way that the what do you call it, the Emperor is just like this is gonna be a trap.
Yeah.
It's a trap, you know?
I love that scene. It's a trap.
It's a fucking cool.
You know who is the most understated character in that whole film? The guy that is in the Millennium Falcon with Lando.
Yeah,
the Celestian. That guy's awesome. That is the most understated character in that film. Yeah, the space battle is incredible. Endor is beautiful, and I really enjoy the whole
music.
scene. The inner struggle that Luke has on the Death Star, trying to like save his father, but like, and then the Emperor's trying to turn him bad at the same time, and it's, oh man.
I love that struggle. I really do.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
My beef is with the ending. I think that, first of all, the original ending was okay. I did not understand the celebration the way they did it. They should have ended it with them burying the person that passed away
Whoa.
somewhere else. I don't think that
are we going into
burning
spoilers,
him.
Right? Oh, okay, yeah.
Everybody's seen this film if they're watching this.
Okay. So yeah, he burns Vader. Come on, is that not enough of a ceremonious burial for his father?
Yeah, but the fucking Ewoks are there, and then that just spoils it completely. And then they go into that weird music shit at the end that's just like, oh, what? Well, and then in the fucking edited version that they go into the different planets, I'm like, fuck you. No. Why? Why are you doing this to my classic? Why?
Okay, I agree with you. The edited...
that was horrendous.
The specialized edition ending is pretty fucking bad when they go to Naboo, Bespin, all those fucking...
And then you fucking see Jar Jar again. I was like, fuck you! Yeah. I was literally so close to throwing something at the fucking TV because of that shit. But the
original's fine, man. They're celebrating. They have just beaten this, this...
Yeah, but not with the fucking Ewoks, man. I was like, why?
What the fuck?
The Ewoks, dude. Go somewhere else. Come on. They fucking celebrated on a different planet a couple times. Go somewhere else. Don't fucking go with the goddamn monkeys.
Because you hate the fucking Ewoks.
I do. That's the whole reason why I hate them. They're so fucking retarded in this film, and I'm just like, why are they in there?
Jesus.
There's no reason to have them in there.
I do like the ending when he sees Obi-Wan, Yoda, and his father. Not the despecialized edition.
Yeah.
When he sees the old man, which is supposed to be his dad. It's nice that he sees these men that helped him, and that his father is finally a good person, not this fucking animal, this monster.
Yeah, I agree. That was a very good aspect of it. I like the fact that they burned the Jedis, but I like... I think that they should have done it somewhere else, and I don't like the Ewoks at all. I don't like anything really on that planet. I don't think that they should have done what they did, and it took away from the scene. They should have put something else in place of that.
One bad thing about the movie is, and it's not even a bad thing. I just feel like he dies like such a fucking vagina. Is Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, in the Sarlacc pit. Yeah, that was fucking.
I was
retarded.
Like, come on,
and
bro.
There's rumors that they say that they didn't kill him.
Well, if you read the books, he doesn't die, but that's old canon. That's before Disney bought it out. But
and I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring him back.
Yeah,
I mean, come on,
I wouldn't.
They're gonna put that as canon real quick.
Yeah. But I always found even though he doesn't die in the Sarlacc pit, if you read the expanded universe, it's such a shitty way that you think he dies. It's like, come on, bro. The most badass bounty hunter in the galaxy dies by falling in a goddamn pit.
Yeah. So what do you think of this film? What do you rate it?
9. I'd rate Return of the Jedi 9.
9. I give it a 8.5.
8.5. That's still pretty good.
Just because of the fucking Ewoks, because if not, it would have been a solid 9, guaranteed.
Just one random more thing before we end this and go to the final film that we are going to do.
Yes.
If you've never seen the despecialized versions of episodes 4, 5, and 6, there are many people that have them online. You can download them. Of course, only download them if you've bought the movies before.
Yes.
If you've supported by buying the films. But they do have despecialized versions of all 3, Blu-ray quality. So it's very, very, very good quality. And I actually just downloaded them and checked them. And yeah, they're despecialized. They go back to the originals. They don't have those shitty ass editions that George Lucas wanted to do when you re-released them in the 90s. So yeah, go check them out. You can find them on any torrent website. Just do yourself a favor. Only do it if you've bought the films before, and if you've never bought the films, go buy the films. They're good they're good movies. But yeah, that's it. That's my 2 cents for that shit.
Alright guys, now for our future review, we are actually going to be doing Star Wars, The Force Awakens. Holy fucking shit, The Force is awakened. Mm-hmm. That is the perfect fucking title for this film. Hands down, holy shit. That was an amazingly entertaining movie. Brendan, what do you think? What was your first impression walking out of that theater when you watched this?
The first thing I felt when I walked out of the theater, I was like, this... I was like, man, this is what the prequels wanted to be, but what they weren't.
Oh, the prequels didn't even come close to this.
No.
They didn't even touch this.
No, they did not. This movie was leaps and bounds better than them. This is Star Wars. Like, I felt like J.J. Abrams really understood it, and he knew what the hell he was doing.
Oh, yeah. That's for damn sure.
And, actually, fun fact, or not fun fact, I wanted to ask you, what do you think the title means? The Force Awakens.
Well, the fact that, like, Rey, one of the main characters, the what do you call it, the Jedi in all these different people throughout the universe is awakening.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. Without spoiling anything, I mean, you can't really go into detail on any of the characters, really.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I want to do, what did you think of the characters? Because I think for the first time ever, the characters in a Star Wars film can stand on their own. In the prequels, they were horrendous. In the originals, they were good, but they weren't great. They weren't as memorable as these characters are. I want to start off with Rey. I think Rey is the most phenomenal actress I've ever seen for this type of role. She is perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I could not have seen another person playing that now.
Like,
I really cannot.
They all did a good job.
Yeah.
Daisy Ridley as Rey, John Boyega as Finn. Jesus, now I'm blanking on his name. Isaac. Jesus Christ,
Poe.
I'll find it right now.
I liked Poe. Hux.
Yeah.
Han was freaking phenomenal. Han Solo was a legendary performance.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford got the highest paid acting gig for this film, and he deserved it. Because his role and portrayal, like the fact that he was able to jump back 30 years to what he originally did in that character, that just, holy shit, that was great.
Yeah.
It was great performance. His nuances with the face, his interaction with Chewie, his interaction with other characters that I'm not going to reveal, because the only thing that I'm going to be revealing is what has already been revealed in the trailers, in the main trailers, not the international. So just so you guys could watch it and enjoy it as much as we have. We just want to discuss it because it's that good of a movie, and it deserves to be discussed.
And my all-time favorite thing about the movie is BB-8, the robot.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The amount of emotion that is portrayed in that little robot is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this. It takes two people to man him. He has a
Really?
Yeah, he has a magnet on his head. That's why when he moves his head, like, you don't see anything. And so one person controls his head and the other person controls the body. But the amount of, like, you could see when he's happy, you can see when he's sad, when he's surprised. Yeah. It's like they did R2-D2 and then some.
They perfected him. Yeah. They perfected what R2-D2 started in the original, because let's not even go to the prequels. That was horrendous. But because R2-D2 at least, and the droids and the little robots and stuff like that in the prequels, they tried to show emotion without talking and giving away their emotions by discussing what they were saying.
Yeah.
This perfected it. R2-D2 in the original saga was phenomenal because he did that too. But this one, like, he was comedic, he was serious, he was sad. Mm-hmm. He had a whole full range of emotions, which is just unbelievable.
Honestly, like, I was just, the whole time, I was like, this is Star Wars. Like, I came out and I was like, this ride, it was fun. It was lively. Like, I want to do that again.
And it was the fastest 2.5 hours of my life.
So
I mean, I went into this movie and I almost didn't go because I had major stomach issues going into it. And it completely gone out of my mind when I was watching the movie. I did not have to step up from the seat a single time.
No.
And that tells you the type of film this is. The fact that you are so entertained for 2.5 hours, and it goes fast. I mean, really fast.
You know, a movie does a good job when right at the end I was like, I cannot wait for episode 8.
Yeah.
Like,
and the pacing of the film, it deserves a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
The plot, I give it about a 9 out of 10 because there are kind of a couple things a little quirks and stuff like that I didn't like. Characters, 9 out of 10. The only reason it gets a 9 is because of Kylo. Kylo Ren, I did not like the character at all.
I like him.
I liked him with the mask on.
Yeah.
As soon as he takes off his mask, which is not a major plot point, please do not burn me and write me up a million comments. It is not a plot point. It happens in the first 10 minutes of the film, so it's not a major thing. And it just, he doesn't do anything for me. He reminds me of the kid from Donnie Darko, the bunny rabbit. That's what he reminds me of in the whole film. It's so jarring seeing that guy, his face. It just jarred me from the action and from the story.
I liked him. I thought he did a good job. And I like Kylo Ren as a character. I think he seems like a child, and that's interesting because you never really see bad guys like that. That they have temper tantrums and all this bullshit.
I love Supreme Leader. Supreme Leader was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
He looked like something out of Prometheus. Yeah. I mean, it was so cool. What else?
A couple characters I felt weren't used correctly. Like Poe Dameron, who turned out to be one of my favorite characters in the film. He's barely in the movie, which sucks. Yeah. And
what's the movie that's coming out next year for Star Wars?
It's called Rogue One. That takes
what
place.
Is he going to be following?
Rogue One is basically going to be part of their anthology series, and basically Rogue One is going to show us how the rebels stole the plans of the Death Star that lead into Episode 4, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
but I mean, this guy's gonna be a main character in the next.
No, he is a main character. Sure. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't feel like he's used as much as Finn and Rey, which sucks. But
yeah. But I love the story. There's a lot of surprises in this film.
Yeah.
If you think you've seen it all and you think you've read it all on the internet, no. There's a lot of cool surprises, and you'll be talking about this film as soon as you get out of the theater for a few hours. I mean, I just left the damn theater, and now I'm still talking about it. The whole way over here, I've been talking to Brandon about it, and it's holy shit, this was fucking phenomenal. I was so impressed. I'm impressed.
I'm happy you liked it because there was a part of me that was like, oh shit, I don't know. Yeah. But
yeah, it was great. I honestly will give this 9 out of 10. As a whole, as a whole, it gets 9 out of 10 with me, and that is saying a lot. That puts it up there with Empire. That's how good of a movie this is.
I agree. We talked about this. I'm giving it also a 9, but I still think Empire is the best movie in the Star Wars saga.
Oh yeah.
But I think that this is either tied for second with, in my opinion, Jedi, Return of the Jedi, or it's second or maybe third. It's in there. It's first
second or third.
Yeah.
I don't like New Hope, so it has to be number 3 or number 2. Yeah. And Jedi, we already went over this a couple minutes ago on the film, but I think this was excellent. Yeah. There was not a single thing that I would have changed on it, other than Kylo Ren being a little pussy. That's the only thing I would change. I want my bad guys to be badasses. Yeah. I mean, complete badasses.
I don't know. I found he could be interesting. Something a little different than normal. And we'll see. I guess we'll see in the upcoming films, 8 and 9.
So if you haven't seen the Star Wars, The Force Awakens, you must check this out. Yeah. Be part of the add up to this box office mega giant, because it's already done. This is Wednesday, and it's already done past 600 million. That is fucking a crazy.
It hasn't even been out
goal. Week. Yeah. All right. It's already halfway through what the other ones did, and it's only been the first 3 days on it. So this is a phenomenal movie, and it's gonna be a phenomenon. For the next 3 films as well that are coming out soon. and these are just great. I mean, gotta check it out. Please watch this. And this is the end of this episode, but we are actually going to be doing a special next week for New Year's, that we are going to be doing an episode every week. So the first episode is going to be coming out on Monday, and we're going to do an episode all the way leading up into New Year's. So please check out and keep an eye out for these, because I'm not going to be doing the advertising for each individual one. I'm going to do the advertisement like I always do for Friday episode. Yeah. So please check out these episodes. It's going to be really interesting little special that I'm going to do. And Brendan, you want to do your plug?
Yeah. And as always, if you like video games and you like people talking shit and whatever, check out my other channel with my friends. We're playing video games and talking to each other. Currently we're playing Chrono Trigger and The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and that's Gameside Manners. Gameside Manners. Thank you.
And we got a link down in the description.
Yep.
And also we are gonna actually also include links to people that are associated with the show now, that they're helping out the show, advertisement, etc., just supporting us in general. Please check out their links in the description as well. They're a very interesting show. The Film Club actually is one of them, and they have a weekly show as well, and they're really entertaining, and it's a really good show. A little long, but it's a good entertaining show to check out. All right, and we're gonna see you guys on Monday. And Brandon, we'll see you soon, and you better goddamn watch Election.
I
all right,
I
still haven't forgotten about that shit.
I will. I'm gonna watch Election. Don't worry about it. I'll see you guys. Right.